We are here live at Hooters, and we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Adam Schefter. Adam, thank you so much for joining us, and I just got to ask you right off the rip, is Tom Coughlin's job on the line tonight in Miami?
Well, I don't know that it's on the line tonight, but again, I think it's a case where I think everybody knows he's going to have to win here, and he's going to have to win to save his job. I think that's the prevailing feeling around the league. Now, we'll see whether it's true. He's a great coach. He's a great man. They just may decide, hey, we think it's time for a change, and that's the direction they could decide to go. But, again, I think it's a case here where there's uncertainty surrounding his future in New York.
Adam, if the Giants win tonight's game, would you consider them to be the best team in the NFC East?
No, I would not consider them. Look, this division has been a week-to-week deal here where it changes one week to another. And just because they win one game tonight doesn't mean that they're going to be the best team in the division. I think it's a case where, in this particular situation, we're going to ask who's the best team in that division every single week for the remainder of the season. That's just the way that it's going to be in my mind.
Do you have any guess on who you think is going to actually take it down in the end?
Again, it changes week to week, and it's impossible to say that because you just never seem to know who's going to do what in that division.
Adam Schefter joins us. Of course, you can follow Adam on Twitter at Adam Schefter. Now, Shefty, I'm watching this Bills game yesterday. The Bills looked terrible. 15 penalties for 101 yards. Mm-hmm. What do you attribute that kind of undisciplined football with? Well,
the problem is that sort of pattern has followed Rex Ryan's teams wherever he's been. I mean, that's been the history of his teams, that they've had a lot of penalties over time. That's not anything new. That's not anything different. That's typically what his teams have done, and in this particular case, that's exactly the case again. And so you hope that it's corrected. You hope that it gets straightened out. But, again, that's been their pattern and their history, and it hasn't been corrected too often.
Adam, what are your thoughts on LaShawn McCoy not attending the post-game press conference? Obviously, going into the week, a lot of the attention was on him. Pre-game, he goes down and kisses the logo, but he skips out on the post-game press. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I didn't think it was great. Listen, I always like for athletes to handle themselves in the most professional, responsible way. Again, I'm not walking in his shoes. I don't know what his life was like. I don't know what it was like in Philly, and obviously maybe he just wants to make sure that it's not all about him after a game like that when they lose a tough game. And that would be the way that perhaps it would come off because so much attention was on him going back to Philadelphia. They lose a game that they have to stay in the playoff race. They don't win it. So now for Sean Payton, it's all about him. So from that standpoint, I understand. I just always think it's best that, you control the message. So you get in front of the meeting and you just say, listen, we just lost a disappointing game. Well, what do you feel about coming back to Philadelphia? We just lost a disappointing game. I'm really disappointed. And you just stick to the point that you want to make rather than answer the questions that the media has.
What do you take from DeMarco Murray also skipping out of the end and his reduced role? Is he losing that battle with Jeffrey Lurie? Is Chip Kelly safer than we thought?
No, I think, look, Chip Kelly, if you know Chip Kelly, it's a week-to-week proposition, and he has not been running great. Look, the fact of the matter is that Ryan Matthews has looked like the strongest back so far this season in that offense. And so that's where the work went yesterday. But DeMarco Murray was second on that team at running backs yesterday in carries. So it's not like he didn't get any work. I mean, it's just that's the way that it came down yesterday. He was 2 carries fewer than Ryan Matthews. But that's not that big of a difference. And, again, I thought that in that particular case, he was utilized still.
Armen Levack live from Hooters. Producer Gaz filling in for Armen. And, of course, happy to be joined by ESPN's Adam Schefter. And we're doing the Super Bowl send-off. It's going to be a great time to get some wings and maybe get some knowledge from Shefty.
Adam, what's the latest update on Cincinnati Bengal quarterback Andy Dalton's injury?
He's not going to need surgery, so they're hoping that at some point he comes back this season. I think there are other people who think it's going to be a struggle. You're talking about a quarterback. You're talking about his thumb being fractured. Good luck throwing that football. Good luck when you have smaller hands the way he does. So that's going to be an issue going forward, and will continue to be an issue going forward. And we'll see how it works out. I just think it's a tough situation for him to be in.
Seems like this season, Shefty, we're talking about injuries more than ever. Thomas Rawls steps up, becomes the fill-in for beast mode Marshawn Lynch. He's hurt now. The updates on him and then what the Seahawks might do without him?
Yeah, listen, he's going to be out for the year. Got that fractured ankle. Fred Jackson, Dewan Harris, so the guys that they have right now, they're hoping that they can get back Beast at some point before the postseason. I think that was the plan all along, to get him back late in the season. He was in the building last week rehabbing. They're hoping they can get him back. I think that seems to be the prevailing opinion, but he did go undergo a surgical procedure. So there's a question there about how soon they can get him back and what they can do, but we'll see how that shakes out here in the coming weeks. But again, I think that would be the feeling that they would like to get him back there.
And then news out, wide receiver Devin Smith of the Jets. What's up with him?
Out for the year, torn ACL, big blow to the Jets. Obviously didn't make a lot of plays, but you want your second-round draft pick, which is what Devin Smith was, to produce at a high level. And in this particular case, they were going to lose him for the season, torn ACL, and that's a blow to the New York Jets.
Adam, the AFC South is very tough to predict. But upcoming Sunday, you have the Colts versus the Texans. Both teams could be playing with backup quarterbacks. What's the status of Brian Hoyer and Andrew Luck?
Brian Hoyer's got a concussion, and Bill O'Brien said today that he believes that Brian Hoyer's doubtful. So I think that leads you to believe that you're going to get, in this particular game, you will get somebody like T.J. Yates out there. I mean, that would be the feeling, that it would be T.J. Yates out there against the Indianapolis Colts. And the Colts have their own quarterbacking issues. Andrew Luck has not been cleared by doctors yet to begin practicing and playing. So that becomes an issue moving forward. And then you have a case here where basically Matthew Hasselbeck was spotted inside the stadium in Jacksonville last night with his left arm in a sling. So that's an issue. There are a lot of issues with the Colts right now in the quarterback position, and we'll see how it works out.
Schefter, any chance with two teams potentially going to this postseason sub-500 records, the league starts thinking about seeding?
No, I don't think that'll happen. I think that this is a case here where basically, in every single year there are some teams with winning records that get to go and get a good seed, and other years it doesn't happen. We heard it last year with the NFC South. Carolina got in. Heard it for years in the NFC West. Now the NFC West is one of the best divisions. The NFC East for years was a beast. This year it's one of the worst. AFC South typically has been tough. Not this year. These are just cyclical things, and every division goes through it. No one's immune to it, and I have not heard very much talk at all about reseeding the positions. No.
He's Adam Schefter, and we're glad to call him our NFL insider. Thanks so much for your time, Schefty.
Thanks, Adam.
Hey, guys, have a great night. Appreciate it. Have a great week.
You too. Adam Schefter right there, of course, a must follow on Twitter, at Adam Schefter. Definitely somebody you need to keep an eye on.